mpanyinfo ebie kwan sɛ adanse obia wodi fa ne ho bia no obetu akɔtwere egu ehuma mu a efre no Book of Condolence no ye bia no ɛwɔ ACCRA International Conference Center ebɛkɔ akɔkɔhwɛ wo mo a mpanyinfo a edi kan ababɛtwere ehuma no mu ɛno akyi so no UDS University of Development Studies wo metifi mantem ye nyina nim sɛ Papa J kyese sukuu ne dia ye bɛka ne sampo anisa na no na mampena na do kyese hu hia ebe se fatase ye de din ebeto sa asuapon no eso na fe ye konsam fufuro mu so a ye kosunya ne eye bono region so a jusagfo etu anamon bi aye ne mabako menum yesem se na be ye be ma wo mu hyem die eto so dumienu no ebetumi akoso boko na ne manyina so etumi akoyie wei ene nsamawodo bi eka ho na mede bramu se kasebo na mu no aboafo a esuye mu abiribia no esafatase bo mu din ebo ma baso da o mu ase this way chocolate drink and then the coffee drink this way no direct tea cream a wo nyina eboa ya kase boy special ice nsuo de oto mu de osachet mu special drink flavors ni enso special energy drink no mu a carry fi ahoden kenkrin wona wo sen no best point say men ka che o sika sam tutu ye de mensuru kra o mu gina ho e de ma wo best assurance so bo ni pedua na japade ho ban mi fiam kodi fufuo mi ndi tintim ni bi me kwa kodi dit fufu eno simanum na me body fufu no aye krado lita be kwan so na me de be wo no eno so de aprekase wo mu no na me de be dismantle na je say ifia de nyuma koi na eboa ma me de kasebo na brabidin na de Agya Kwabnea Africa sebo no mu ensem nie ye man pani dada His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings call the krechi no amane boy ensaka echese ndi saman yokuo no esripa anya sem kuma kra e de akai opani no na mpanifo e ba se bi no e kane mampani dada MAHAMA anafe de wotu franka wota na chipintin maami geno poku agiman wono so e ka ho bi owura Johnson ASIEDU NKETIA so e ba bi sanso e na party ni mpanifo ene aban ahodro na musifo wo manga na mu so wo so mu nyina etumi ko dwumede na se e bi na mampani dada MAHAMA e kasa no on the to echirim se kane mampani jeje hwera wa hwere nkwan no ese se e ka wo mu bom so man se party se ne be betumi aboa ama de obeye no yetumi so e de epiepie oman amoma na tumi akonanim sanso na Yero Johnson ASIEDU NKETIA so kasa e kire se ebre no nie sa ebre mampani JJ ekoi no and this for de obetumi ade aye ede akan no ade amana koda somdwe so ne se omba kokoden na 2020 abai ombetui ombedi nkunim.
Lovely children, beautiful daughter, handsome son.
I would first of all like to thank all of you gathered here and all the other regions and those at home who are keeping vigil with us, because I recognize and I accepted a long time ago that he wasn't just my father, and we've always shared him with everybody else. And so if we are here today, we are here mourning not just our father, but the father of many. As we stand here today to honor his memory, I will leave you with a quote from my father. We often get lost in the games of politics and often forget our North Star should be our principles, values, and kindness to one another. We often get lost in the games of politics and often forget that our North Star should be our principles, values, and kindness to one another. In many ways, this is summed up by the golden rule, that we treat each other as we would love to be treated. I pray that as we enter this period towards the election on the 7th of December, that we let these values live within us and we absolutely protect what we have as a nation, because that is how we will honor his memory. I thank you and God bless you all.
Who are we here to celebrate? We are here to celebrate a man who stood so much for this country, who believed in the colors of the country and the colors of our great party. He believed in our party. He stood for it. He has been worried about how well we were preparing for our elections. Until about 3 weeks ago, 3 4 weeks ago when we spoke, and he said he saw a lot of confidence in our people. And that if we can be a little bit extra vigilant, as we were in 2008, he is very sure victory will be on our side.
Today, from the president to the chief justice to the minister to the MP, we are accountable to the people of Ghana, thanks to Jerry's vision of probity, justice, and accountability. Even if sugar or a fowl of the state is missing, Ghanaians are free today to ask that minister, that president, what have you done with state resources? To the legacy of Jerry Rawlings, with the consciousness of probity, justice, and accountability. There were values we are to imbibe. And to the young generation of NDC, we can commit more than to commit to a peaceful, free, fair elections for Ghana, which you see Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Nana living and leading the legacy and work of Jerry Rawlings.
Yada so yama penda da JJ nsem mu na ye nyina nim se ukọ ometifi mantem mu a eye University of Development Studies UDS sa sukuu na hwiapo no kan ma pen JJ which me akase sukuu ne dia ni ti akasa ne se amama ka bunku no bona baso maske mu duru pa na baso bo no papa yan fa ntwana nim ankosi dan e woni kurom anase won fa nko ebi foforo odikusi asuapo no se na be ya empimpim kwadan pimpim o man mu betumi anya homasua edimu na eno ena ye mampani na nado dan kwakufado e kire se eho behia se sa school no kra no ye di kan mampa jeje din etoso esan se wo se efata awie ye mampani na nado e kasa wie ne mampani dada mahama so e kasa e de fa yewura jeje ni wo no ho na ne kasa mu no dato je chirim se so man no kan mampa jeje do gina hode maye so man nkabom omani puntu omani kanko ene biakoye no sa bere ne sese yegina so oman ne yekai ho bom se nipa baako mampani dada mahama kire se wo hwe oman mu a yemu acheche esansa manyoku ahodo ni nyina we ka wetia we no we ka tia we ensese ba ne sa aye kire wadwene na me kire madwene enta hu behia se ye mampani dada jeja wonya ne ba bi ko no de so ade hu no yamfanya djuma sa bere bra woni ho no emfa hye na nunyam.
This marks the end of an era, but it's also the beginning of an era. The persona of Rawlings bestrides Ghana like a colossus. His impact on the current trajectory of our country has been immense, and it's necessary for us to find the right balance to appraise his role as the founder of Ghana's current democracy. His life was tumultuous. His life was filled with tragedy and triumphs. Death is the ultimate leveler, and we must use this occasion of his passing to bring healing to our nation. He was our comrade, and we worked with him. I called him boss, and he called me chief. He was not perfect. Neither are we perfect. We had our disagreements, and we had our joyous moments of success. Having led this country for 19 years, longer than any past leader has and ever will, his impact on where our country has come from and where it is headed cannot be understated. Let us make his death bring us together. As the longest serving head of state of our country, he was the leader of the revolution. He was a royal of Anglo. He was the husband of our former First Lady, Her Excellency Nana Konedu Agya Rawlings. He was the father of Zaneto and her siblings. And also importantly, he was the founder of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, and he was also a former president. So all these interests own the man, and these interests must come together to give him a simple but befitting farewell. What happens with our mortal remains are ephemeral. As was said by Shakespeare in the book Julius Caesar, The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. For the cadres of the revolution and the members of the NDC, we must work and fight to ensure that his good is not interred with his bones, and that his positive impact on the history of this nation is preserved for posterity, and that the principles that he stood for are recounted to future generations yet unborn. Thanks to the organizers of this vigil, and may all who knew and appreciated him continue to celebrate his life. Knowing him and having worked with him, we all recognize his distaste for flamboyance, pomp, and pageantry.
To implement the principles he lived and died for. He taught us that in every struggle, when comrades fall, we walk over their bodies to ensure that the mission is accomplished before we come to count the dead. So, ladies and gentlemen, be fired up by the temporary demise of our founder. To win these elections and rescue this nation, Ghana, which was dear to his heart, from the very ills he has fought against all his life. Corruption today is worse than what he fought against on the occasion of June 4th. Nepotism today is worse than what occasioned the June 4th. So how can we say that President Rawlings has been a good man, he has been an African, and yet all the things he lived and died for will not be commemorated? We will abandon them and still pretend that we are honoring his memory. Ladies and gentlemen, let us walk our talk. Let us fight to come to power. Let us revisit the idea of June 4th becoming one of the national holidays. We can only do this when we are in power. In opposition, it cannot be done.
Yes, I china yako yama peni na nado dan kwaku fuadro ni samo kan adefa kan mampen jeje ho efa UDS esuapon wo sei obehia se yede papa jedin eto saa esuapon se sanse ne dia esefata se ye ne sanso de ma no.
Chairperson for an institution that began in 1993 with 39 students, UDS, the premier university in the northern sector of this country, has grown in stature and now produces as many as 5,000 graduates annually in various disciplines, awarding diplomats, undergraduate and graduate degrees, and PhDs. UDS is no longer the university of last resort, as may have been the case yesteryear. As a result of hard work, foresight, and determination, successive governing councils, vice chancellors, managements, teaching and non-teaching staff have overseen the transformation of UDS into what it is today, one of the best tertiary institutions in the entire country. UDS, like many other universities in the country, had to employ the use of a digital system to provide tuition for students, with the same platform being used to conduct final year examinations. I know of the challenges brought forth by this, especially for students whose communities are not connected to the internet. I'm glad to learn that in spite of difficulties in connectivity, they managed to overcome these challenges successfully. It is my expectation and hope that UDS will continue to produce graduates who are molded to take on the opportunities and possibilities for higher achievement through innovation and creativity in today's science and technology-led, knowledge-driven global economy, and who will thereby help generate prosperity for the mass of our people in our time.
Yetu akase bonso ana yeko atemu ne atentere ne aso ye na afi ne afi bia no aye chief justice ene atemu adwumako no eye hyiemu eto side free kuku awdo a ye ka atemu ne atentere ne ho nsam a wo mo anudu bedwam ehia eye hyiemu de to so du minu no akoso.
It is an inescapable fact that COVID-19 has come to further intensify the need to embrace change, because it is fully positive that the world will not be the same again, and the Ghana Judicial Service must keep up with the changes. Despite the fact that information technology has been advocated in the judiciary, hardly any worthwhile efforts has been made until the introduction of the e-justice system in judicial administration in our country. The e-justice platform has been activated in the Law Court Complex in Accra and soon to be implemented in other courts nationwide. It has presented an electronic case filing system which dispenses with the physical filing of court processes. The e-justice system, a digital copy of the physically docket which contains all processes filed in a matter, and can be accessed distantly from the comfort of one's home. It further introduces e-course list, which does away with the physical presence of lawyers or their aides at the court premises to check on pending cases, and in all new digital and paperless working environment that lawyers, justices, and other court staff are still getting used to.
We were also faced with a jurisprudential question of whether, under the Constitution, any person had the power to close the courts, when the self-same fundamental law placed the supervisory jurisdiction of the President's emergency powers in the courts, thus inferentially stating that the courts cannot be totally shut down even in a pandemic. There was also the question as to whether or not legal services were exempt when they hadn't been expressly mentioned in the exempt category. We of the Ghana Bar Association fervently hope and pray that the judicial service will be equipped with the necessary resources to replicate the e-justice system and virtual courts across the country to ensure that speedy and effective justice will be enjoyed by all persons.
Yetu kase bono so na ye concern fufuru na o my Ghana ban ene Africa Development Bank akwa pam de omsa hyanti ase pam se emfimpinu ni adwunu baako ADB mechire Africa Development Bank enhyem de omuhia afibia no 2021 de no o my Ghana ye meye wa
Efiampi mienu ane aduonu baako annual general meeting ade emasika krabia wodo ne beba so wonkran Midday so aduonu na kopum aduonu enwotwe so empenifo de omunsa ahyenti ase apomase akyerem se ombeka sadia fa ahodeneye ayenya free awia ane mframamu ewiem sakraye aduane ho bambo ewa bibrem asei adwade ekoso abibiman entem ayeno ye Africa Continental Free Trade afenso adwade ni fadijuma ebrekro na musuna coronavirus ombeka ho asem chochoni adema African Development Bank or Benfo Vincent Ekasaye.
Due to the unpredictable evolution of the COVID-19 pandemic, the MOU that we signed today provides for 3 scenarios holding the 2021 annual meeting. Scenario A allows for full-fledged annual meetings as per the bank group's normal practice. Scenario B provides for limited annual meetings that could focus mainly on the statutory matters, and which could be a hybrid of physical as well as virtual. Scenario C will involve a total virtual annual meetings. The COVID-19 pandemic triggers specified in Annex 4 of the MOU will inform the scenario to be adopted as we get closer to the event, as it is impossible at this stage to do so. It is, however, heartwarming to learn that Ghana is working on preparations for scenario A, namely a full-fledged annual meeting.
Sarah no Moisa na hini Orua Kendo for we atanso din sem say tuja.
This year, no, we had to do it virtual in Abidjan. Into God willing, no, COVID no back off from Nadia Baha. Now in South Africa Development Bank and so there, one basically the largest bank, one Disica Bre, Archer say we well bank free where one a survey, want to be my development money single be into importance won't be to me about. They know what to do and send you who and normal between their boy. Now certainly entrepreneurship and agriculture development and industrialization or baby our expertise pa into every who say on ba you know on become awesome near when they are between their boy.
Communication Ministry and International Telecommunication Union for Akabum edihye bi eba beboa amayatete wo mo a ebiom kusko mo anwie adwadifo afitafo no mesinfo no mo keka ka so na be ya nimdie a wo mbenya ewo ICT mu no atumi akosoro.
Digital Transformation Center Trinity Friends DTC no na abada no dia ebeboa ama adeche ne teteye akoso ewo online ya how biara enim eye online video conference ebekoso ewo enkran enipa be empim dunan ne akire ene ye hwe animu se yebema mo teteye adi afansa no adwuma wo ebitise adepam ene kwan ye faso a yesidan de ehia ne se onim computer mu kakra bie so wo hene wo Ghana ase ya akwanya ho ne mo de ma wo se obenya mu chefa osoafo hwe enkrato so Munyamfo Oslowusu Ekufu Eda no dia wakasaye.
We are fan nyina ka United Nations ho ehwe computer ne saa nimdie no ho a Ghana ye ka ho no. Omo nso any Norway aban any ekuo bi ye technology kese a friend Cisco enso aka bom say ye beboa na ya mayen enim enkyerɛkyerɛ any enimdie ni bi ne atumi ye mabun penimfo epese sua ekuafo adwadifo school kwala ye nyina epese esua no pim aduanan enso 14,700 ene ye ba be training won mfie miensa entem na ye wo community ICT centers e wo Ghana ha nyina eno na ye di mfidie ekwa akogum na ya ma omo te wono susu nimdie na omo atumi achirechire omo ebeba no sa enimdie no ebi
one ya yedwumadie bi pen amo omo ba busumi ni akire ni a omo anya mu chefa no kire omo sue hu ni akwanya ede abre won.
It has really helped me a lot of ways. I've been able to improve my work, and also I've been able to I can now go using social media. I can now market my styles and get new customers and all of that. So it was good for me. So it has really enhanced my work a lot. They also saw that we needed that thing to to be in the current world. So it was all good.
Program now Boama, it's me training for. And our students are mobile in China. Or manage bebre because computer no most of them about fear more. Or more need computers will fear. Oh, into mobile your center now you training more. Because training no one say in preparation for their examination and ABR on daily activities no computer symbol a bebre.
Atwamantam so afo no nyamfo Kwabnea ochireda ko mensa de ato Ghana fo nyina nim se COVID-19 yere no eda so wo ho enti ho behia se ahweyie hihye ahodo a aban ahihye bia ne ni so na yare no ankwankosan ye
COVID-19 yade yinti ebenifo esai apetepete enuro ewodwa ahoduro mu wano ode akopiem ewo takrade market circle ewo secondary eno no ewo takrade metropolis nim osofo a wono ewo atoye mantem mu onmunyafo Kwabnea ochirimensa say
what we are saying is that if you are not careful you might get a second wave intinya second wave bia Ghana and other western region and it's just that abono ya meto inti selukuna esekunu preko inti this year, the 1 or 2 baby show up. No, it's very important that we kill it once and for all, and then move on. I mean, we cannot. You may start here. You to me only on reactive basis. Already, the money you planned. 3 months. Yeah, first one in cabinet today. Every 3 months we do it out to tell us that the thing is zero. Another 3 months in the way we are.
Abankra Chipenya war a fear. Kwesimintim mensin wo munyafo kodwo akwanso e kire se yade no ewo ho enti yenkoso ana yenhwe enya ade ebetimi aboye ho ban na second wave yade bi ansan amma
se yegusu kasa kire ho isa se manim ya idea ya mpase e beti chinkofo na mo yegusu akasa kire ho ya bo NCC funa mane se ngusu nye centralization no munim nkofo ngusu kasa in the various markets any public places no enti yegusu pa na enim se e asepa eneso Menije say the whole Western region, if you are going to answer, yes, disinfection. This is the third time I hear we.
And which he and at Toyaman Zoom Lion General Manager Alhaji Abdallah, also HSA, one more air so betting a pity drew, will jar Henuni Edianai enum.
We have to take all the measures, the protocols to ensure that we curb it. Let's try to protect ourselves. Social distancing, washing of hands with soap, and then the other protocols. Let's use the nose mask regularly and try as much as possible to observe all protocols regarding COVID.
Well, and some from Muno, Asante Mantamunso, a idea a jabese 400, and a few lorry stations a hoodwall, and what dear Dre be a quackopitipitia.
The best will be a mobile say, say, wohon, say, entity and term, young Korean, Nian Mascano. Mestre will be a moment de mano in Hiano. And no pay any idea a bit my boy Masaya away as what. But unfortunately, as a America Cremuni, you gonna food in a relax here. Ama Unsha for Munsha Mascano, but any the best. And he mestre, Mefaconia was thread, the Yankopo Dreamus thread, Nanaku for the Dreamus thread. Say, Ubia and share mask, Ubia Ronesa.
Yanko Accra International Conference Center eho na se na medi kankan no yede ho makasi bia to se obi bia mpanifo o manyimu ebitumi akokodi ka mampani de je ho adanse ye de a kire yen na Ben Arthur wo ho yebisa se nipa hwan na aba Ben so temenka sese ekobo donko nipa hwan mpanifo ben na aba ade wo msa be hyenkrata ase aba so be sign book of condolence no. Hello Ben.
Hello Agya.
Hello Ben, no temenka.
But Agya me temenka.
You should can say and sabi to me aka enu Ben Arthur na. Hello Ben.
Hello Agya.
Aha, na me bisa se ye wo hwe CCTV aye hwe ka man pen JJ ni photo de bo ho no na ka man pen MAHAMA so ete wo sign book of condolence ni bisa se kobo donko yi no mpanifo ben ana ababa sign sa ehuman.
Yo, senior wedding card chamber pepe ya papa JDM John Dramani MAHAMA any Niger and the pay omoba hanum sign ye share ya papa GG RAWLINGS kan sepa katra edifa no ho so ya start ya fi hanum sisi adia na omo fi hanum course sisi ye former Chief Justice Maame Agya ono any former Accra Mayor Owura ni Ejiri Blankson na lawyer Okujato omo fi ha koye enche dia ye Maame Hanatete odi akutiriye ewo NDC mo so ebepie mo ewo hanom sei enche bia no fi hanom koye Owura Mohammed Ibn Chambers ono so special UN special rep West Africa on also Sophie Hanum Koye and Cheye. Young Mammy Chief of Staff, Fema Osei Opari, Mammy Sophie Hanum and Koye. Chief Justice Odili Juma, Sophie Hanum and Koye Cheye. And your papa JEA Mills, Neba Samuel Kofi Mills, also Abba Hanum C. Ko. Dear Cassay, dear, a Bushian 4 adia tom when ni 40 no so abo chenku ewa hanom se ya ya papa JJ Rollins mba 9 omu nyina so eti hanom se ya obi aba omaje omu awa tu na minka nche bebre no yawo yem papa ono yefre no nana enok osei mensa no head of protocol office of the vice president ono ewa hanom se yɛbɛma na kyerɛkyerɛ mu kakra before the nkrataa bi pia mmɔntene so a ɛfi ɛnnɛ ɛfi ada a ɛbɛn no ɔmo a nipakuo ahodoɔ bɛtumi atu anammɔn aba Accra International Conference Center hanom sei ɛde ɔmo nsa abɛhyɛ krataa ase anaasɛ abɛtwerɛ biribi akae yɛ papa JJ Rollins a wɔnya no baabi kɔ no so no ɛho nhyehyɛe no nyinaa no ne kɛse paa no ɛwɔ no hɔnom na yɛne no ntwetwe nkɔmmɔ kakra papa yɛmwɔ ha ba United Television ɛyɛ UTV so yɛnea yo before si yɛnim so yɛbisa dɛn ɛna wowɔ ɛka kyerɛ
yo deɛ ɛka kyerɛ Ghana man sɛ yɛda Ghana man ase bebree ɔma yɛ ama no ayɛ fɛ mpo koraa ama no aborɔ so ɛyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ a yɛde ɛfiri state protocol din mu de bɛtoo dwa no wɔma di so ama no ayɛ fɛfɛfɛfɛfɛ anɔpa yi nɔnkoro pɛpɛpɛpɛpɛ na right honorable speaker when ni dom bedru abesan ye omo ko ye pepepe na his lordship chief justice and members of the judicial council and justices of supreme court so omo de dom ebetech ebesan omo book ko ye to omo besan ko ye no anche na UN deputy secretary general wono so ni team bae na omo so eba besan ye na omo ko ye. Now, no, said the Debetu Jano, members of Council of State, almost Abba Besanko. Yama make a chief of staff, also Abba Besan Echo Cecilia. Until a quina, ye did 2 common ultimate a year, Manaya Fempo Abruso, who beard the Nidian Makika, the book council, almost every practice of the 19 protocols, no. She said, no, and no one woman in our Sheswa, or more Abba. It is so far, no. Yeah, Papa John Dramani MAHAMA so the time national also by one in a year Babesan the Kama Abesan Echo. Until now, no, the year train no Chairman Council of State Abesan, year train ministers of states and the members of parliament almost time no it will my year train so much of Babesan.
Yo, a year Papa Enoch Nana Enoch Osei Mensa head of protocol and na yeneno air and common. Papa Sisi Adem say a kakakra na donko aboy donko ba ti donko don no minu ekosi no na che ho na mo di bisi kra ochina ehihye etise yeah wachina ehihye so enie eye nyankopon de che na ade pachi ya ochina no pa nonkono soja kese CDS soja panyi CDS ni IGP any heads of security agencies ni nyina so beba be sign then heads of religious leaders almost beba abesign to free do back on air for no ambassadors and high commissioners diplomatic members no nyina so beba abesign na che say ye de emiso awie ye wachina ebnadana COVID-19 ho nhyehyɛ ya mudi agu akwan mu ɛwɔ hanom say so etfen
ekoso pepepe your doctors were ha almost guide ye ehwe say obi abe observe sa protocols no your sanitizers ɛwɔ say distances ni ade chese ekwan say fa so horo ye nsane ade nya yo nkofo almost church obi obeba bia na on pass through that protocols no so you go say ye ho adwuma de lende wa ha
yo enche no busia de betu dwa ni so ni abusiafo na ye adwuma wa ha say ye papa JJ Rollins yenye na wotwe da wusum bia emfama no because na bi ma ye nyoma bi social media ne ade me pa cho wanya ehon popoye o makasa di friends kata so pi na ehon hyehyɛ ne tisen in the absence of 1 week no bibi kakra bi siana
no 1 week ne de yabusuafo na hyehyɛ na once o ma ba out abeka say 1 week bi ani ho no yesu yi ni say 1 week bi ani ho nti ye de abusuano no ne aba ne beka na ye na ye work no so yesu ye de ye adwuma na ni December ko atwa so ne say now no ye mpanyfo ahye say adwuma de ye di wankran ye extending ko all the 16 regions no nti no ye send materials no nyina de akɔnne ti ye wa rehye say ye nyame e de che ye free wachina kɔ no all the regional capitals no so obi abetima ko regional coordinating councils no so akwakosan book of condolence no as part of exercise na ye wo Accra ha no
yo ye papa Nana Enoch Osei Mensa Anudisemi and the Bigina so Mayadi Yamani bought from Accra International Conference Center and every EDBC. Now, you better from Biaso Sono, Yabema, Afrafoni, a Tiapoina Ate.
Woman so eba hona Papa J in the book of ye condolence no ana nkrompanyi for ekokosin sign no hwemfo ni hona na ya ban mu panyi for mami frema or the sanitizer bi e pa nensa ho na wako antine so no abesin sign de de ko pen fawdo bebre ka ho we wraje blacks in na wo ho no ani pen fawdo bebre anti pen fawdo bebre so e wo ho bia wo nyina abesin sign ye UTV da so a wo ho ntino womo bebe bia safata mamuhu yehu omu bia no yebeye na motumi ehu omu nyina na aye fefefe awia na yebe twi yebe home eno so kakra na fe yakọ nsam foforo so Food and Drug Authority mpanyifo e the certificate ama nipa makomako aduonum ensia aye nkurasi nyuma ne nyuma nketenketen a won so munya tumi krata so betumi aye adwuma no o ma agentity edi mu ntino ya mom tumi krata se o mkwa adwuma
UTV yatwe ebe kwanchefo panyi Edema Food and Drugs Authority memida ko ena ochiremu ese Ghana nyuma omoye enuane no dodo na eniemamu enhyada na wofan etiso moba Food and Drugs Authority for akache sombeji tumi krata yentimi mfama won obehunu omafo akiri eye niema ne ba montene so na Ghana foodi na nyansunsuanso bone ewo moso entitwa no pa no enuane se mache no omo editumi krata afoforo abebebo mu dwumedi omudi ni yepa na obia asumu adwunu a wo chirechiremu sei edechire
okay, say July, your friend mobile has a launches a scheme. No, near betchen say, yeah, idea friend risk based approach. Into your friend, your way. So we are no my dry. Risk in your higher. And no, initially, Uba, you bet me my pink license. Who cost now your ma to say beer drinks, attach milk, your man say beer milk, Nadioma, and no risk me slightly higher. Into no, who here green license, and yellow license, and some way to me. Air cost union and not risk near higher and we are based on a risk-based approach. But the MPSA be because say will be here BB Onyanya holding near completely ready. I am MANASSEH. It's near my pink license. We are a DRAMANI ACCRA. You will be here see a but in safety no, ya safety where you mother near Mao yellow. Uku kakra near Mao green. Nature say, oh, do baby now white license. They said Unilever name. Nestle no me idea.
Na kwanchefo panyi abedi akire
Media Foundation for West Africa aye dwumaku a wo mo hwe nsentwere for da wurubo ene on babo ho nsam ne on fa hode ho nsam so on abasobo dwumedi bi koso afibia na afidie no so akoso a de to so enan eno no
West African Media Excellence Conference and Awards we eye wameka na eno no eye Media Foundation for West Africa wonum ene hyehyɛ saa dwumedi na eno no wo kyerɛ abasobode a wo mode bae na eye 740 applicants nanso emu no enipa aduonu a wo mfiri aman besensia so ewo ebibrem ho sei ene wo nya saa abasobode enan firi Ghana enso firi Nigeria enum firi Burkina Faso ena baako efiri Benin baako firi Togo afei Gambia ena Senegal na yeka overall best in Centroni a wo yade pa e wo na adwuma yemu a na ye MANASSEH AZURE AWUNI wo ye freelance journalist a wate ne ho ana ode ne ho enti onya best West Africa Journalist of the Year. Na ono ne de no investigation nhwehwemu a wo sheda eye no documentary and wo de ekoye. Na wato ne din Grounded Wheels. Eno no ene wo mo hwehwemu hu se ampa wo de toto de aka ne nyina ho a ono ne de no esiye. Enti ono ne de abasobode ne ma no. E ma UTV nsentwerefo ne no kasai ma ne kire se. Nsentwerefo enhwe wo hu yie. Adwuma wo ye no wɔn ho sɛ daakye bia na ketua papa bi ɛwɔ hɔ ɛretwɛn wɔn mu.
Mani agye bebree if sɛ wohwɛ wɔn a yɛ nominate ya yɛ dɔɔso nipa 20 a yɛ free West African countries baako edu miɛnsa nti nyame ayɛ madom na sɛ yɛ paumia metumi akasa mani agye yie paa na ɛno nso kwa kyerɛ sɛ Ghana yɛ journalism nso ayɛ no nso asɛ ani ɛte sɛ ɔhwɛ awards ya 4 years ɛna ɔma yɛ last year nkwa na overall winner no ɛmfiri Ghana mprensa no nyinaa kyerɛ sɛ obi a ɔnya abasobɔdeɛ kɛseɛ paa no ɛfiri yɛ man mu ha nti mehu ne sɛ ɛyɛ nkranhyɛ ɛde ma yɛn nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ a yɛyɛ adwuma wɔ Ghana ha kyerɛ sɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ West Africa na yɛka ɛbɔ mu nso a yɛgyina a yɛtumi ɛma yɛkyi so ɛsiane sɛ adwuma yɛyɛ no ɛso ani sɛ ɔhwɛ judges na ɔbaako kora ne hɔ firi Ghana na nyame adom nti overall winner no ɛfiri ha nti mɛda obi bia ase ɛmmoa a ɔmde ama me ɛwɔ sɛ adwumadeɛ ho adwuma no ɛnyɛ easy yɛ na ɛden ɛtɔ da yɛbɛdi w'atɛm yɛbɛka wo ho nsɛm sɛ woto wo ho si ɔ sɛ wobɛyɛ adeɛ a ɛyɛ na sɛ bia wopa wo ntoma ɛwɔ ɔmo a moyɛ adeɛ ɛnyɛ ho a yɛbɛda ne yɛni aba wo so but mehunu sɛ wo ma w'ani bere na wode nokoradie ɛyɛ wɔ adwuma na wokoko w'anim a nhyira no ɛbɛba akwan bebree so.
Adishimama UTV premto rekasebo ena muhwe madaro ma mumie twa hutia wo ye ba ye kasebo ne yebɛto aso.